The king of the battlefield, the tank. Throughout history, one monster stands apart from the rest: 10 meters long, 3.6 meters high, and a weight of 188 tons. That is 3 to 4 times the weight of a modern main battle tank, an absurdity of engineering. Its name was the Maus. Ironically named Maus, this super heavy tank was the pinnacle of Nazi Germany's technology, the largest tank ever built. Yet, this monster never dominated the battlefield. Why did Germany, on the brink of defeat, attempt to build such a colossal mass of steel? And why did the Maus, designed to be the strongest, vanish without firing a single shot? Today, we uncover the full story of the 188-ton madness hidden in the darkness of history, the super heavy tank Maus. Let us turn the clock back to 1941. At the beginning of the war with the Soviet Union, the German army was shocked by the appearance of the new Soviet T-34 tank. Their shells bounced off its armor, and the invincible German panzer divisions were destroyed one by one. In response to the desperate cries from the front lines, Adolf Hitler's answer was simple: build a tank harder and stronger than theirs. Under this order, German tank development rushed down the path of gigantism. The Tiger, the Panther, and the Tiger II tanks became larger and heavier. But Hitler's desire was insatiable. In 1942, he gave the ultimate order to Dr. Porsche: develop an invincible tank exceeding 100 tons. It was a dictator's delusion, completely ignoring tactical rationality. A mobile fortress that could bounce off any Allied attack and single-handedly turn the tide of war. Thus, the top-secret project, Maus, began. The development was entrusted to the genius, Dr. Ferdinand Porsche. To move this unprecedented weight, he adopted a unique idea: the gas-electric drive system. An engine turns a generator which powers motors to drive the tracks. It is similar to a modern hybrid car, but installing this in a 188-ton tank with the technology of the time was sheer madness. The biggest concern was its weight. The armor was up to 240 millimeters thick. In exchange for overwhelming defense that no tank gun of the time could penetrate, the Maus became a lump of iron that crushed the earth with its own weight. Its top speed was barely 20 kilometers per hour on paved roads. Its fuel consumption was atrocious, literally meters per liter. Just moving it consumed vast amounts of fuel, and if the ground was even slightly soft, it would sink into the mud, never to move again. Still, Hitler was satisfied. Seeing the full-scale wooden mock-up, he reportedly rejoiced, saying, "This is exactly what I wanted." He could not see the operational difficulties the soldiers in the field would face. As development progressed, a fatal flaw became apparent: mobility. Many rivers flow through the battlefields of Europe, but no bridge existed that could support a 188-ton tank. If it crossed, the bridge would collapse and the tank would sink to the bottom. It could not advance, nor even be transported from the factory to the battlefield. The solution the engineers devised was typically German, complex and inefficient. Submersible river crossing. If it cannot cross the bridge, it must drive along the riverbed. They designed a system to seal the Maus completely, raise a snorkel, and drive underwater at a depth of 8 meters. But think about it. Every time the giant tank arrived at a river, the crew had to seal all hatches, connect long pipes, and waterproof the electrical systems. And on the opposite bank, another Maus had to be waiting to supply electric power. In the midst of battle, with shells flying, such a leisurely task was impossible. From the moment it was born, the Maus was destined to be an immobile fortress. By 1945, Germany's defeat was clear to everyone. Resources were depleted, factories were bombed, and there was no capacity left to build giant tanks. In the end, only two were completed, prototype number 1 and the armed prototype number 2. There are records that an order was issued for the Maus to sortie to intercept the Soviet army approaching Berlin. But the end was all too abrupt. Near the Kummersdorf proving ground, the Maus stopped moving, not because of enemy fire. Mechanical failure, or perhaps it ran out of fuel. The German soldiers, fearing this secret weapon would fall into enemy hands, planted explosives themselves. With a roar, the 188-ton giant was destroyed from the inside. Without its mighty main gun ever firing, without its thick armor deflecting a single shell. The largest tank in history ended its short life as nothing more than giant scrap metal. Today, one Maus is displayed at the Kubinka Tank Museum in Russia. It was restored by the Soviet Army, combining parts from the two destroyed wrecks. Countless bullet marks remain on its hull, but these are not scars from battle. After the war, the Soviet Army fired at it to test if it could truly withstand German attacks. Ironically, the Maus's armor reportedly deflected most of the close-range shots. If there had been enough fuel, perfect maintenance, and the national power to support it, the Maus might truly have become an invincible monster. But history has no ifs. The massive body, keeping its silence on the cold floor of the museum, conveys the passion of engineers who challenged the limits of technology and the madness of a dictator who led them astray. A 188-ton ghost. It may be a giant tombstone symbolizing the collapse of the Third Reich.